Good morning, this is Sarah, your healthy carnivore in the UK. This is going to be a really ultra short video today because today is my first day that I get to finish work at 1 p.m. and go home and put my laptop on and do some carnivore stuff. I'm probably going to start a live at some point this afternoon, maybe around 3 p.m. I don't know yet what I'm doing. There's about 101 things I could probably be doing. I know one thing I really should be doing, and that's weight training, but I haven't got enough sort of flexibility in my life to be able to do that the amount of times that's going to really work. I really probably should be spending about an hour and a half in the gym doing weight training, but it's coming. Weight training is coming for me. I need to do it. I have absolutely I've known for a while that weight training builds metabolism for women and would probably help me shed some fat. But just knowing that is half the battle. And it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. But I'm not doing that this afternoon. What I'm actually going to do is I'm going to dash home, throw some food in the oven, probably chicken thighs maybe, put them onto slow roast, stick my laptop on and start talking to you guys. I've seen a silly article in the New York Times this morning about how we selectively and carefully choose our ultra processed foods. I'm going to talk about that today. Ultra processed foods, and how if we choose things like kettle chips, which only have 3 ingredients in, including seed oils as though one of those 3 ingredients, it's not really ultra processed, it's not really hyper processed, it's perfectly safe. So that's what I'm going to talk about later. If you're watching this back on repeat, see if you can check into perhaps watching my live on repeat. I'm going to try and talk as much as possible so that it feels like a normal video, but it just happens to drag on. We may have people popping in, asking questions, talking to me, which would be nice. I don't know what time exactly I'm going to do that. Possibly as soon as I get impatient and do it. So if you've seen this video as your first video of today, check out my live later, which is going to happen. Unless, of course, we have a disaster round at the in-laws. One new why that I've got a brand new why, and that's not to turn out like my in-laws they've just hit 90 and they are in one hell of a state. And it's so easy to say, well, they're 90, they're supposed to be in a state. No, they're not. No, they are not supposed to be in a state at 90. Yes, maybe slowing down a little, maybe calming down a little, but they have been in a state and on medication and sick with one thing or another for years. They've been dying slowly for years, and on a weekly basis now we're having to pick one of them up off the floor. It's only a matter of time before we have to do a lot more with them. They've been incredibly independent, despite all their illnesses and problems and constant doctor visits and constant medication. They are still just ticking by, but only just. And I think with mounting evidence that you can get to 120. I mean, let's look at the oldest people in the world. I wasn't even going to talk, but as soon as I go, I'm on a tangent, right? Let's look at the oldest people in the world on record. You know, we've recently lost one of the oldest people in the world, and she was maybe 114, 116 years old, somewhere around there. So that's evidence that a human can live that long. Other people who read that article about the person that's lived the longest is probably just thinking, wow, they just had amazing genetics. They should be thinking, so it is physically impossible for a human to live until possibly 116. That's possible because that person's done it. So a human can live over 100. So that means it should really be possible for all humans to be able to get that far. So why are we not? Why are we checking out now in our 50s, 60s, 70s and 80s? And just about scraping through to our 90s in some cases. You have to ask. And people are not asking those questions, are they? They're not questioning what's being injected into them. They're not questioning what pills they're taking. They're not questioning what's in their I was going to say food, but it's debatable whether it's food. Anything other than an animal product is a very poor substitute for human food, in my opinion. I used to eat it. Oh, I know. I know. 6 months ago, I was still just about clinging on to it. I'm nearly at 6 months, by the way. I am tantalizingly close to 6 months doing this, and it's incredible. Obviously, that does bring with it the frustrations of the fact that I haven't dropped the weight like other people do. But it's not something I'm choosing to continue to worry about. I know I did just mention weight training, but I think weight training is good for longevity, especially for women, full stop. Sarcopenia is one of the biggest killers in the world. My mum weakened horrendously from sarcopenia, and it did contribute to her constantly falling over and having a terrible time in her last couple of years. So, you know, eating a lot of animal protein and lifting weights, I think, is something that is a good strategy for anyone. So that's something I'm definitely going to be thinking about. But this is going to be a super short one. I have nothing specific to talk about apart from my new why. Don't turn out like the in-laws. Can we live to 120? And why are we not living to that age easily? And also just ultra processed foods. I'm going to talk about those later. Hyper processed foods and how it's okay to eat kettle chips because there are only 3 ingredients in the packet. So I'm going to go and get myself some of those and eat them for my lunch. So this is just a very quick video. I'm going to upload it just as it is, just to say this is my first day finishing at 1 p.m. on a Friday. The plan is to go home, throw some chicken thighs in the oven on a really low temperature and get them really tender in the middle. And then later on, chuck some beef fat into the pan, chuck all the chicken thighs in there, crisp them up and eat them. It's just heavenly and cheap too. And then while they're cooking, while they're doing their slow roast, I will be on my laptop and making some videos and chatting to you guys. My first interview officially will be on the 19th of January with George Goodenough. He's volunteered to be a guinea pig. Now I'm going to sound a bit like Dave Mack now. At some point, I'm going to want to build up those interviews. Once I've practiced on my guinea pig, George, I'm going to want to do more interviews. So if you do fancy being interviewed by someone that's low level, just starting out, just practicing, learning how to be an interviewer, send me an email, get in touch. I can set up some things. We can maybe do it on a Friday afternoon if you're free. If not, we can do it at the weekend. I've got some sun all day today. We've got about 4 days of sun in the UK. Really cold though. It's about -4. So I'm glad I haven't got to stand outside for the whole entire day today. So that's just my quick video. Bit waffly, I know, but I thought I'd throw something out there. I'm going to set, I don't know what the thumbnail is going to be, because I've talked about 15 different things in one email, in one video. I'm just so excited because I'm finishing at 1 p.m. today. I'm going to go now because this is just verging on ridiculous. I'll see you later. Bye.